Let's cross over to London and bring in Chris Doyle. He is the Director of Council for Arab-British Understanding. Chris, great to have you here with us on TRT World. So the United States, in theory, has been a supporter of a two-state solution. But now that there has been this drastic shift in U.S. policy towards Israel and Palestine, what does the future hold for a two-state solution? Is it officially dead?
Well, Jaffa, saddle up, buckle in. It's going to be a very long 4 years, isn't it? You know, we weren't quite sure what Donald Trump was going to give us as an encore in terms of his shock tactics. We had last month the clean up Gaza comments when he first pushed for the ethnic cleansing of Gaza. But this time, he doesn't just do that. He goes further. He actually adds it. He adds Gaza to the list of those desired American territorial acquisitions alongside Canada, Panama, and Greenland. So for sure, he is not here acting as a deal maker. He's acting as a deal killer, because this certainly not just undermines that two-state solution that the international community has been so keen on for 4 decades. He is also absolutely killing off the prospects of the 15th of January deal between Israel and Hamas. I cannot see in any way that the second and third phases of this deal will go through. And why? Perhaps because one of the biggest impacts of this is what the man who sits next to him, Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu, I must remind you, a man who has an arrest warrant for him at the International Criminal Court for war crimes, for crimes against humanity. He's sitting there and he's listening to that, and he is hearing not just a green light from the Trump administration, but encouragement to go on and finish off the job. If anything, it's criticism. It's criticism that he didn't do it in the first place, that he's only done half the work. So for Netanyahu, this is a go-ahead to finish the ethnic cleansing of Gaza, the genocide that many of us have been talking about over the last 16 months. And Donald Trump is absenting himself from any real prospect of resolving this conflict if he pursues these sorts of ideas.
Chris, let me ask you, see, here's the thing. When Donald Trump came into office, there was this praise that he was getting a lot from many Muslims, for example, from many Arabs who at the time thought that he might be a better option than former President Biden. What do you think they must be thinking at this point?
Well, let's be clear. It wasn't like President Biden was handling the situation in Gaza with any kind of ethical policy at all. I mean, he was complicit in the genocide that was going on. He was supplying arms. In fact, one of his last actions was to approve $8 billion worth of arms sales to Israel. Trump has subsequently supplemented that by lifting all the restrictions, even on the most powerful, heaviest bombs that Biden had actually limited. So one can understand why Arab Americans did not want to vote for either Joe Biden or Kamala Harris, given their policies. But of course, you know, you get something which is arguably worse, and that is, you know, Donald Trump. And this is a man who has a history of racist comments, not just about Arabs, certainly is there, but also Islamophobic comments about Muslims. He wanted to ban Muslims. And what is least remarked upon, of course, is his anti-Semitic comments, that he has made a whole plethora of these. So, yes, I do think that there will be some who will very much regret this vote. He's conned them by pretending that he was going to get some sort of peace deal, but that looks very far off unless he changes tack. Now, Donald Trump is a law unto himself. Right. We may see him meeting the Jordanian king next week and changing course once again. But at the moment, it doesn't look optimistic.
Fascinating insights, Chris Doyle. It's always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much for joining me here on TRT World. Really appreciate your taking out the time.